Okay. Good thing I had some of the equipment turned off. I'm having technical difficulties like you wouldn't believe after doing the let you know who in thing. And now I'm totally confused because I don't know what is actually going on or anything, or if it was anyone, or it's a long hot mess is what it is. And I wanted to get back into making videos on Loki, and one of the videos I wanted to make on Loki, and I think I've probably covered little parts of this here and there, is knowing not only when to ask Loki for help, but knowing what kind of help to ask for, if that makes sense. For a long time, you've probably been seeing people ask for Patreon help on YouTube. And the reason people have done that is because in my experience at least, like what I was making in December was a decent bit. I'd have never considered it, but then I was even considering then, to tell you the truth, to help supplement what I was making. But then after about February, I haven't made anything on either channel. Literally have not received a paycheck since about February, and I finally had to go and on the other channel, and I don't know what anyone will say, but I made a video and it will launch tomorrow, and I said, guys, I hate having to ask you. I don't think it's, your responsibility, but if you guys want to continue seeing certain kind of content like unboxings and stuff, I am going to need some help. And I put that up, and I don't know yet what people are going to say. Some people might say, yes, I would love to help support this channel, and I would love to see more of this, more video game stuff like that. And some people might say no. But, you don't know, one, if you don't ask, and two, I've been asking all the wrong people. I've been asking family members because I hated having to ask my audience. I'd mentioned it in passing to my audience, but never really asked. And I'd even asked, like, friends and stuff, and, like, everybody's like, well, that's a horrible idea to have to ask your viewers for help, but, if people do want to support a channel, that is up to them, because I've seen more and more channels are having to say, and these are people with day jobs and everything else, say, well, if you guys would like to see more content, I need help. And people are saying this because, you usually put some kind of investment into a lot of your channels, whether you're paying for stock footage or music or whatever. And like, unfortunately, YouTube isn't paying people anything right now. And so people are, legitimately asking for help. And I don't know if I'll get help or not. It's like, it remains to be seen. I'll see what people say tomorrow. And Loki said, well, what are you going to do if people say no? I said, well, one, I won't have any, like, unboxing content. And if they ask for, like, new video games, or like, really expensive video games, I just won't be able to play them. Because I can't compete financially with people who are financially better off than me. And I told them, I said, I'd like to be able to buy, like, groceries and stuff again. I can't, like, keep putting an investment in it. Like, initially the channel was huge because I had an initial amount I felt comfortable investing in the channel. And it never panned out because YouTube switched everything around. Now they're paying us nothing. And so, bleh. But, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Usually I feel like if something falls through, something else will open. So if, like, YouTube will fall through for me, then, maybe I'd go back to writing and get Patreons there or, like, something. But the thing is about, it's not about me and my troubles on YouTube. It's about knowing when to ask Loki for help and knowing what kind of help to ask for. Because I had been telling Loki, I was like, I don't know what to do because I need to, like, generate a source of income. And I have these disabilities, or I would be, I'd be working at a gas station or something in town and you guys would never see me. And I would be having an income coming in. And I told him I don't know what to do because, I've tried for disability and I can't get disability. And I can't hold down, like, a normal manual labor job. So, like, YouTube was, like, a thing for me to try. And it seems like Loki won't always give you the easiest answer or the answer you'd like. Like, when you're in financial trouble, wouldn't it be great if Loki lets you win the lottery, or great aunt so-and-so gives you X amount of dollars and you have enough to live on for the rest of your life, and you could do whatever you want artistically or financially or whatever. But you usually manage to get by. It's not comfortable for me to ask people, for that support on the other channel, but we'll see. And if they can't or won't do it, then maybe, it's like a sign, like, okay, let's move on with your life. Let's go do something else. And I don't know what direction that would be in, but sometimes you have to trust in Loki to support you, and you have to know what questions to ask and when to ask them. Maybe your financials are fine. Maybe you don't need help asking for help, but maybe you need help in another area. Maybe you need help in your faith, or you need help in with your emotions or health or whatever you're trying to work towards. And Loki can help you with that, but sometimes we don't know the right questions to ask. And Loki can be one of those gods that he loves us very deeply, but until we ask it seems like until we ask the right question in the right way, he won't always be forthcoming. And I don't think he does it to be cruel or neglect. It's just, that's kind of the way it is. Like, I always knew I should have just asked my viewers in the first place, but I never wanted to ask them because I'm like, what if they reject me? And finally doing that, finally asking them, they are the people I should have asked first, because they're the people that will be the patrons or not be the patrons. I shouldn't have been asking family. I shouldn't have been asking friends. And Loki had kind of more or less said, why don't you ask them? And I'm like, oh, I don't want to. And like with the ones I thought came in, and now I'm not sure what happened, because I'm really confused now because of the dream this morning and some other stuff that's going on. And like, I have like this quirky stuff going on now with the computer and that, and it doesn't seem like Loki. It doesn't seem like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, I don't know who came in and who didn't, and I don't know who I'm working with at some points, and it's like everything's like a little cloudy and confused right now. I know Loki's here, and the way Loki made it seem this morning, he's like, you're staying with me, and I'm your god, don't you forget it, and I'm going to be the one to take care of you. And I'm like, okay, I get that, I love you, and we're going to be spending time together like we used to, but then what about all this other stuff that happened? So I'm really confused right now, and he's just sitting back and smiling. So I don't know if it was just like he wanted me to open doors to possibilities, maybe, metaphorically and literally, or he wanted me to open communication lines and just have it like open communication lines, but hey, your attention is up here, or what's going on. And I've asked him, and he just smiles. So I don't know what happened. Like, I went through all this stuff, and I'm like, wow, I'm going to have this and that, and not like financially, but I was going to have like them here, and I was going to have these people here and those people there. And now it's like, what even happened? I don't know. I'm really confused. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what the last couple of weeks have been all about. I have no idea. And sometimes working with Loki is like that. You'll think he's leading you one way, and you'll think you got all this stuff accomplished, and then he'll do something, and you'll be like, what actually happened? I have no idea. And I don't even know what possessed me today to make the video about asking people, but I was like, well, if people do want to help, I probably should let them help, and if people can't or they don't want to, then, no hard feelings. Like, I know a lot of my viewers aren't even of an age to consider donating, and but it would be nice to get the support, because then I could do stuff like invest in better equipment and have more variety on that channel. But we'll see. It's a bad time for everyone right now, so I won't be surprised if I get no for an answer, But, you know, we'll see. It's not like I'm not going to hold my breath and wait for YouTube to turn around, be financially responsible, and start supporting people the way they used to. I'm not going to wait for that to happen because it's probably not going to happen. I'm like, I better ask now than wait until like very extremely dark days and then ask. Um, I still have like a couple things coming in on that channel, but I told them, you know, that'll be it. And like whatever happens, happens. And maybe what's happened the last couple weeks has been meant to lead me up to that point, because I felt okay asking, and I would have never felt okay before. I was like, well, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Some channels seem to get like really good patronage and some people don't. And I told them I really can't give you anything for your patronage. I just didn't feel comfortable saying the person who can afford $50 a month should get something special, and the person who can't shouldn't get anything, because they might both be the same dedicated viewers who love you, and the person that can't donate the 50 might want to donate it in the worst way, and I hate leaving them out. So, but my viewers know me. They know I'm that kind of person. I hate to kind of like come off as elitist and start saying like, well, if you donate 50, I'll give you this, and the rest of you I'm not giving it to, and I'm just not comfortable doing that. Maybe in time, like Patreon supporters, if I have them, would teach me to be comfortable doing it. But, you know, as of now, I'm like, no. And I told them, you know, right now the way my health is, I really realistically don't have the health to be making YouTube content for 2 channels and then make a third amount of content for another channel on Patreon. So it remains to be seen. But for me, that was a huge breakthrough, because I would have never asked for help at one time. I was always taught not to ask for help. And maybe there's something you were always taught not to ask for, or something you know was wrong you were taught, and yet you don't know how to get out of it. You don't know how to change. Loki can help you bring about the necessary change. Now, I don't know what he was up to this last couple weeks, because you've been seeing me make all these videos on, like, the great gods and like the Fae and stuff like. I have no idea what's actually been going on, guys. I really don't. I don't know if like half this stuff happened or it didn't happen. I know that sounds crazy, but you know, if you work with Loki, you know exactly what I mean. It's like, did it happen? Did it not happen? Was it all Loki running around in costumes? Was it like, because I said something like I was having trouble discerning Loki from Dionysus from the one I called Lokean. That was all I had to say. And then to top it off last night, I thought another god was trying to come through, and he wasn't trying to come through at all. I got these 2 tarot readings that freaked me out, and I was like, oh my god. And I was like, let's be logical here. Let's see what god could possibly trying to come through. And I thought it was this one god. It was on Loki's dark past. And he wasn't pleased that I didn't know it was him. He wasn't that mad, but, yeah, it was like, I could not even read him, and that spooked me out, because usually I can read his energy really well. It could, like, Loki could turn up his Pinkie Pie, and I'd be like, oh, hey, Loki. Like, for one, who else would turn up his Pinkie Pie? And for 2, like, you kind of know him. No matter what he does, you know, like that one friend that likes to dress up like scary monsters or something, and how'd you know it was me? Usually I can read him, but he's getting better and better at me not reading him. And I've done these 2 tarot rolls, and they were all like huge amount of success, and then they were like 2 traditionally like cards you'd be like, and I was like, well, this doesn't make sense that I would be getting gangbuster success up until like. And I thought, okay, it's a god known for these things trying to reach through. It's like maybe this god saying it's because of me. Because I don't want you guys thinking I did this tarot reading and like, oh my god, something terrible is going to happen to her. And so I tried. I said, is somebody trying to communicate with me? And I'm like, okay, obviously I'm getting the color black. I'm getting destruction. I'm getting, loss, I'm getting mourning, like who is like all these things? And my mind went to the wrong god. And I was like, oh. And for some reason everybody else is playing along like, yeah, that sounds logical. And Loki didn't say a thing. He just let me keep trying to make his contact, and I couldn't make the contact. And then finally I had that dream this morning. And I don't know if it was actually God trying to make contact. I don't think I'm gonna like have all this great success and then hit this fate of like the one card was like the Nine of Swords, and it's like if you have the Rider-Waite deck, it's somebody just sitting in this bed weeping her heart out in like the black background and Nine of Swords, and the other was like the Five of Cups, and it's like this guy dressed all in black. And he's looking at the three things he lost, and he has his back turned on the two cups that he still has. And I don't think it's like, oh, you're going to have disaster after having all the success. I think it was more like, this god trying to come through, but I'm like, which god would this be? Because I thought it was someone else. Who I thought it was, and I tried to make contact. It was like I really wasn't getting a response. And then when I thought I was getting a response, it was, you look way too much like Loki. And then I'm like, oh, because Loki does have that destructive side. He does have that lost side, but the cards weren't reading like, at first I freaked out because it was like two different readings, but then I'm like, I don't think it's just like blatant destruction. It's like every time I draw death in a draw, it means good luck's coming and rebirth is coming. So I think it's like there's this change coming, but it has to do with this god, and I like didn't understand. And I try not to think automatically be one of those Lokeans that like everything is Loki. So I didn't even let myself think about Loki when I saw those two cards. But then I asked him, he was already offended, so he was going to answer me. And it's just, I think it's like, it's going to be like, I don't know. Now I realize it wasn't the god I thought it was, so it has to be Loki, because he's like really the only god I work with that has this destructive, dark, almost like mourning side, or almost like saying, hey, you've been mourning so long and you've been looking at what you've lost so long, and I want to turn you around. It was sometimes when they interfere with the cards, you're like still trying to read the cards regularly, and sometimes they're trying to give you a message, so sometimes it gets messed up. But I know with the two cards showing up in the final position, I do a 4-card draw, it was like definitely someone trying to get my attention. And it was someone that would have something to do with the Nine of Swords and the Five of Cups. And it felt like a male presence, a male energy. And it definitely felt like a darker, more solemn energy. Like, I guess, part of Loki that maybe I haven't worked with in a real long time. Because I've always thought I've worked with a dark path, but it was like, I don't know if he was saying I'm kind of mad at what's been going on, or something's going to change, or what's going to happen. So I've had that on my mind today too. But yeah, I will let you guys know what turns out to be what, but it's just been really weird, and like the energy's been weird, and weird stuff's been happening with the computer, and that's like the only way I can describe it. So I don't know what actually went on. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around the meaning of the readings, and maybe like tonight when I go to sleep, since I'm thinking of all this, it'll come to me, and tomorrow I'll make a video in the afternoon, be like, oh, guess what, guys? So, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. We're on good terms as far as I know, but maybe there's some work he wants me to do, some, dark work I have to do to, like, address some issues I don't even know are there. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll let you know how everything turns out. If it turns out I'm not going to get the Patreon on the other channel, then I have to sit back and look, do I even want to still do that channel? If I don't, just, maybe just do this channel, And we'll see how it goes. I don't know what to do right now. I'm at a loss, so I figured, well, I'll ask for help because I can't keep doing both channels indefinitely for nothing. That's a cute idea, but it doesn't work out financially too well. Okay, so if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.